Hello class, today we're going to talk about factoring trinomials. And the first thing we need to know about trinomials is that it is represented by ax squared plus bx plus c. And it's important because we need to know how to identify a, b, and c. So the first step we're going to do is we will create a table, and then we'll list all the factors of a, c, circle the factors that adds to make b. Then we'll determine the signs. Then we'll divide by a, and we're going to always simplify that. And then the denominator is our x, and our numerator is our number in our answer of the factored version. So I want you to pause the video and take a second to write those steps down, and then we're going to walk through the two examples that we have on the screen. Okay, so if we look at example 1, we have the x squared plus 9x plus 14. The first thing we should notice is that x squared does not have a coefficient. So when we do AC, the coefficient of x squared is 1, so we're going to do 1 times 14, and we're going to get 14. And then our b is 9, because that is our number that is with the x by itself. So next we're going to list all the factors of AC. So when I list all the factors of AC, I'm going to have 1 times 14, 2 times 7. There is no other factors of 14 that are not repeating what we already did. So now I am going to look at those numbers, and I'm going to circle the factors that adds to make our b. Well, 1 plus 14, I cannot add them in any form in order to get b, but 2 plus 7 will give me 9. And I know that because my c is positive, I know that both of these signs are going to be positive because my b is positive. So I'm going to go ahead and put positive 2 and positive 7. Now I need to divide both of those by my a value. Well, my a value is 1. So now I look at that, and I can't simplify it because it is 1. I'm just going to have 2 over 1 and 7 over 1. I always want to keep it a fraction. And so now my denominator is my x, and my numerator is my number. So I have 1x plus 2 is my first parentheses, and then I'm going to have 1x plus 7 as my second parentheses. And so now I have the factored version of my answer. And I can take that same information, I'm going to just change the signs of these fractions, and that will be my two solutions. I'm going to have x is equal to -2, and I'm going to have x is equal to -7. So I have the factored version, and then I have my two solutions. And we're going to get into that probably a little bit later, but since we're doing it right now, I just want to show you how we can do it. All we did was take our fractions right here and change the signs. Okay. Now we're going to look at example 2. Now in example 2, our leading coefficient, or our a, is not 1 this time. This time it is 5. So we're going to take 5 and multiply it by 2, and we get 10 this time. Now our b is 11. So I'm going to list all the factors I can think of to get 10. Well, the first one, of course, is 1 times 10, and then 2 times 5. And then after that, I'm going to start repeating. The next one I can think of is 5 times 2. I don't have to write it again. And now my c is positive, so my signs are the same as my b value. My b value is a positive as well. So that means that I'm going to look at the two numbers that are both going to be positive that will add up to get 11. Well, 1 plus 10 will give me 11, so I'm going to go ahead and write plus 1 and plus 10. Now, I'm going to divide both of those numbers by my a value. Well, my a value is 5. So I'm going to do divided by 5, divided by 5. Well, I see that this one cannot be simplified, but 10 over 5 can be simplified. So I'm going to go ahead and write positive 1/5. And then I'm going to write positive. If I divide both of these by 5, I get 2 over 1. And again, I want to keep it as a fraction and not a whole number because of the way I need to write my answer. So when I write my my factored version of the answer, my denominator is my x and the numerator is my number. So I'm going to have 5x plus 1, and then my other one is 1x, or just x, plus 2. So that is my factored version of that answer. And then for my solution for that that equation, I'm going to have x is equal to negative 1/5, and then I'm also going to have x is equal to negative 2. And so now I have my factored version and my two solutions for that trinomial.